Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And in this particular video, I want to offer my unsolicited advice to Raila Amolo Odinga. Yesterday, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, made some interesting tweet on his official Twitter handle. Let me just go through that tweet. This is the tweet which William Ruto made yesterday. The tweet was actually in response to Raila Amolo Odinga's allegation that William Ruto had snubbed Tanzanian President Madam Suluhu, who he had personally invited into the country to come and mediate peace talk between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. So yesterday evening, William Ruto made this funny Twitter. My friend Raila Odinga, I'm off to Tanzania for a human capital meeting to harmonize the expansion of employment opportunities in our continent. I'm back tomorrow evening. As you have always known, I'm available to meet one-on-one with you anytime at your convenience. Now, how many people understood this tweet? That's the question. Because I've tried asking people around, and I'm getting 3 different versions. But for me, if you ask me, this tweet is actually a trap for Raila Odinga. Let me explain why it's a trap for Raila Odinga. Ruto is telling Raila Odinga that I'm back tomorrow evening, which is actually today in the evening. And as you have always known, I'm available to meet one-on-one. So meeting with Raila Odinga one-on-one would amount to handshake. William Ruto was just the other day in the mountain, telling the mountain how he cannot have handshake with Raila Odinga. And let me ask you, do you think William Ruto can have a one-on-one meeting with Raila Odinga without Rigathi Gachagua invading that meeting? Can Moses Kuria agree to such a meeting? Now, William Ruto is concluding that I'm available to meet you one-on-one with you anytime at your convenience. So it means anytime Raila Odinga wants to meet Ruto, he can go and meet him. For me, I'm reading a trap here. And therefore, in this video, I want to give Raila Odinga what I think about that trap and why he should avoid it completely. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, let us dive in. But before we dive in, allow me to thank the following people for the coffee they sent me. You can also do the same using the numbers on your screen. It goes a long way in helping me to create more content for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, Raila Odinga must be very careful when dealing with William Samoei Arap Ruto. Almost each and every individual who has dealt with William Ruto has always fallen for William Ruto's trap. Why am I saying this? Number one, in my view, I'm looking at it, if this meeting were to happen, I'm looking at it as an opportunity for William Ruto to break Azimio. William Ruto has seen a small window within Azimio. And if that window will open, then it's going to enter into Azimio and it's going to break it. The truth of the matter is that if you followed NASA, what do you think broke NASA? NASA was broken by the handshake. Raila Odinga entered into the handshake alone. That moment, Musalia Mudavadi became suspicious of him. Kalonzo Musyoka never trusted him. Who else? Wetangula. And that's how NASA was infiltrated. And that's how Musalia Mudavadi left. That's how Moses Masika Wetangula left. And as fate would have it, they are now family in Kenya Kwanza. So if Raila Odinga were to make that mistake, I am certain that amongst Azimio supporters and even the leadership, top leadership, some of them will not agree to a handshake. So they will rebel. That will mark the end of Azimio. So you must avoid that. Number two is the handshake politics. Currently, if you ask any Azimio supporter about Raila Odinga and William Ruto entering into handshake, 90% will tell you they don't want anything to do with that handshake because of the past experience. Handshake spoiled the politics of Raila Odinga. Handshake ensured Raila Odinga carried the burden of Jubilee failures to an extent that if you go to Twitter today, people would always blame handshake for the failure of Jubilee government, while it's a known fact that Jubilee government started failing immediately they got into office. Over-borrowing we are witnessing today in this republic took place even before the handshake, but Raila Odinga is still carrying it. So as we speak today, Kenya Kwanza is at its weakest point, which means if you allow yourself to join them, then you will go down with them, or they will leave you down there while they will be rising. So for me, he must never attempt that handshake. The handshake thing, the handshake story is unpopular. If Kenya Kwanza don't want it, there is no need for him to go for it. Even if Kenya Kwanza want it, he should never attempt anything to do with the handshake. He must stick to the way they've been operating. Let's have a team there. Let them have a team. Let the teams meet. Otienda Molo and the rest, let them meet, agree, pursue the real agenda, which takes us to the third thing. Number 3, if you ask me, William Ruto is keen on diverting the attention of the Republic of Kenya from the real issues. They have actually come up with a strategy that talk of handshake, bring Raila Odinga on the table. When you bring Raila Odinga on the table, the real issues will not be discussed. William Ruto and Raila Odinga and Azimio might pursue other interests which are not the real issues. The real issues Kenyans are facing today are few. The first one is electoral reforms. Any Azimio supporter will tell you that they will not go into another election with the same IBC if IBC will not be reformed, because they believe that in the last election or the previous elections, they've always voted and their votes have never counted. So there's no way you will tell these people to turn out in large numbers to vote with the same IBC. So Raila Odinga must focus on electoral reforms. The second issue is the police brutality against the citizen. That's currently is one of the serious issues. Azimio and the team are currently trying to pursue ICC. And today during the flower and candle vigil, Azimio played some clip of police brutality. Now, those stories are actually good for ICC. They are actually good for appealing to the emotion of Azimio supporters. So if you have handshake, it means those videos will be useless. Ruto will wait until the election time, then will still use police brutality on the citizen. So that's another serious issue they must focus on. And those are the issues William Ruto is trying to divert the attention of the Republic from. The other serious issue is the cost of living, which sadly has been reduced to the cost of unga. The truth of the matter is that today, if you were to have 1,000, and you are told that from this 1,000, budget with it. Like in olden days, you'll be left with 1,000 bob. Your mom will go somewhere. She will tell you, I'm going to for some burial or blah blah. I'll come after 4 days. That's 1,000 bob, and you know you are like 5 family members. That amount of money can no longer take, guys, 2 days, and people don't even have it. So the cost of living. So Kenya Kwanza are trying to divert Azimio from the real issues. The other issue, which is so important, is the issue of finance bill. That's something which Azimio should not divert from. They would rather stay as they are today, but that finance bill is something which will bring Kenya Kwanza down. So Kenya Kwanza are trying to divert their attention, because if Ruto and Raila were to meet tomorrow, Rigathi Gachagua will start making noise on the other side, other guys will start making noise on the other side, and the attention of the country will shift from those issues. Kenyans will not be focusing, because we know Kenyans, they keep on forgetting very fast. So they'll move on to the next item. Number 4, Raila Odinga falling for this trap would mean that they lose their focus on 2022. If you ask me, if I were to advise Raila Odinga, the mandamanos have served their purpose. They should focus on 2022. How are they going to win the votes? Who is going to be their presidential candidate? If it's Kalonzo, how can Kalonzo be sold in Nyanza? If it's Raila, how will Raila be sold to the coastal region, for example, again? How will he be sold to the Ukambani? For me, Azimio brigades should be thinking of only one thing: removing Ruto from power, not joining Ruto for a handshake or tea. They should have a singular objective: how can we remove Ruto from office? But now when Raila will meet Ruto, they'll start discussing, their friendship, because these are people who have worked before. They'll become very close. Something will happen, you never know. Azimio will be just there. They'll not focus on the main issue, which is the 2022 election. And as a matter of fact, through that working relationship, it will mean Azimio might actually carry Kenya Kwanza baggage. Number 5, if you ask me, Raila Odinga accepting any handshake with William Ruto would mean that he's going to be enticed. Raila Odinga will be happy. Raila Odinga will forget. He will have power. Raila Odinga works best when he is out of power. Like right now, any handshake with Ruto would mean that they'll fast track the office of the official opposition. Raila Odinga will be given an office, he will be given staffs, he will be given government vehicles, he will be given outriders, big office, he will be comfortable. Raila doesn't perform when he's comfortable. And lastly, Kenya Kwanza will come up with a strategy that Raila Odinga has actually been bought. So for me, this is a total waste of time. Raila Odinga should find better things, but he should not fall for this trap which William Ruto is laying for him. I want this message to reach Raila Odinga. I'll send him the link, but if you'll not be able to read it, to listen to it, please share it. If you can make this video trend, it will reach Raila Odinga and his handlers. So just share this video wherever you can. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.